Hello and welcome back to BlueTube on YouTube. As you can see, we've had a bit of a change around for the dawn of a new season. I know we've still got quite a way to go yet, but we wanted to do a video for you guys, just have a bit of a catch up really, discuss the retained list that only came out the other day, and go into a few transfer rumours as well, just for a little bit of fun, I suppose. I'll throw over to you first then. How are you?
Good, enjoying the sunshine out here. This is what this is about, isn't it?
Mm.
So yeah, but I can't wait for the transfer window to open. It's I know that Neumann's contract doesn't start till July, but he's here.
Yeah, it's good to see.
He couldn't wait to get here, could he? Got his family here and everything, house searching, according to the Blue site. So
yeah, that's going to be
to go on.
I'm hoping that that's a fierce pairing, Clara and Newman, however you pronounce the name.
Apparently he's confirmed it's Neumann.
Yeah. Seemingly good player as well. Played a lot of games for Hanover over the course of the season. Wasn't someone who just faded into the background, as can be the case so many times when you know that a player's not going to be theirs come the end of the season. But no, and then he scored in one of his final games.
Scored the equaliser towards the dying minutes, didn't he? I can't remember which game it was now. I put a post on Facebook about it, but I thought, way to sign off. He sent his crowd bonkers apparently.
Yeah.
I think they're gutted to be losing him, aren't they, by the sounds of it, reading between the lines from their reports over there. So but they've had all season to get over it.
Well, first I just wanted to go into that retained list that came out the other day. Of course, we knew that this was coming. Loan players have all gone back to their parent clubs. That includes Kieran Dowell,
Grant Hanley.
Grant Hanley was just on the single.
He was. Yeah, sorry. Luke Harris has gone back to Fulham, hasn't he?
And Ben Davis.
Yeah. Oh, out of them, if you could pick one to get back into the squad,
it's going to be, isn't it? But it's quite a tough.
But you know what? I think I was watching Gary and Matt on theirs, and they were on about Grant Hanley's been in the Championship, experienced defender, Scottish international, and experience of taking teams up into the Prem from the Championship. It was a good point what he made about keeping hold of someone like him.
But we've got so many defenders now. And as you guys will know, when we get into the transfer rooms, we're actually looking into one anyway.
Well, how many defenders have we actually got, really?
We've got Bielik, Newman, Clara, looking to get Ben Davis. We've still got Dion Sanderson, who we're going to have to ship off. We've got a few centre-backs there.
Yeah, Sanderson, I mean, I think he was hinting at returning back to Blackburn, wasn't he? But I still think there's a good chance he'll end up with Eustace again at Derby.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think we mentioned this before, but that's not what we're going to be going into today.
But I'll tell you what, here's a question to start us off with. Imagine something happened this season and we'd still got Sanderson and we had to play him. How would he be welcomed into the squad? Personally, if he can do a job, he can do a job, but of course. He'd be right down the pecking order, I know, wouldn't he, now?
Well, that's the thing with Blues fans in general. If you work hard, it's not on ability, it's on your work rate and your effort. If you put the work in, we'll appreciate you. But I think with where we're at now and our ambitions and what we're looking to do, I don't think he fits the mould, does he, Dion Sanderson, unfortunately?
Well, this is something I was going to talk about today. I mean, we've been touted with a lot of particular players, haven't we, in the last few weeks, and before the season closed as well. But in my mind, some of the names that we're talking about, I'm thinking even higher. I'm thinking big names, I think we're going to attract some massive signings, I do, still.
Well, this is what you think with Ben Davis, because I can also say we're actually going back. It's reported that we're going back in for Ben Davis.
Where did you hear that? Because that's been mentioned a couple of places, hasn't it?
It's out and about on social media, as are all the rumours, really. But apparently, what's holding it up is the fact that Rangers don't have a manager at the moment, and that's what's behind.
I didn't know that.
A bit of a delay. Yeah, Barry Ferguson was actually a caretaker manager for Rangers this season. But he hasn't been kept on. He's been moved on, and they're just in the remit now of getting a replacement for him, someone to take up the helm of being the boss. And because of that, players that we've had on loan from them, no one's there to put the green tick.
I think I've said this before with Davis. If we sign him permanent, it'd be like a brand new signing for us going into the season, into the Championship this year.
Would he want that though? Because he'd be a squad player. I don't know how often he'll be used. We've got the likes of Phil Newman. They've
Do you
got
know what?
Bielik
He's
to
had a
contend with,
season, near enough a
Farah.
season down at the Blues now. He's been here like for a while. He's fit right in. He's been a bit of a fan favourite as well.
Yeah.
I think he'd relish just being part of that squad, being part of what's going on down the Blues. This project, I think I'd love it. I mean, I love just being a part of it as a fan. I'm a fan, so I'm going to love it. But the rejuvenation as Blues fans, considering what we've had, you just want to be part of it, don't you?
Mm.
And if you're a player and you're physically involved, I think any bit part is massive. Depends on what you're. I mean, like someone like Grant Hanley, he'd love to be a bench player, wouldn't he, for us? He knows that he's had a good career. He's getting to the twilight years now to be part. I know Ben
Don't know if you can
Davis
say
isn't
that for
quite as
sure.
old, but I don't know. But yeah, I think Ben Davis would jump at it, unless we are looking at that three at the back scenario.
That is a good point.
Because Bielik is even further down the pecking order, isn't he?
Yeah. What do we do with Bielik? Club captain. But he hasn't really been involved. Give him his, fair share. Give him
Still a
his
good
kudos.
championship level
He
player.
was involved in the first part of the season, but then he sort of got shepherded out with Ben
It's
Davis
after that
coming
injury,
into the
wasn't
fold.
it? You remember how it went. He went off with an ankle injury. Then they dropped Davis to bring him back in straight away. And it all went wrong. And I think that's the first game we lost, wasn't it? And then suddenly, because Davis was dropped, he wasn't even dropped to the bench. He was dropped out of the squad. And then suddenly he was back in, and that's where he started really showing what he was worth.
Well, let's go into the other lone players then who have gone back. Kieran Dowell, what do we do there?
That's a tricky one for me. I thought Kieran Dowell had a brilliant season.
Creative
Creative
Decent
player.
attacking player.
I think a lot of people might disagree with this, but I think he's the type of player. He's clearly gifted. He's clearly a good footballer, but I think he's one of these you have to keep on at him to work. I just get that impression. I think once he gets his feet under the table, you have to keep reminding him that you're here to do a job. I hope I'm wrong if we do sign him, but that's just the impression I got. I don't know. I don't know where that's come from, but it's just.
Don't necessarily disagree with you there. I think we can do better. He was a good player, creative, like I said. Played some really decent keyboard, got some assists, scored some goals himself, slotted right in.
I know. And some of the goals he scored and some of the play he was involved with was sublime.
I think it's such a vital position, that number 10 role, and we need to get it right. It needs to be one of our
This
best
is what I'm leading
players.
up to. The number 10 role for me, I think we're going to have something.
We need
special
someone
there.
phenomenal. We need like a Tomoki Iwata-esque player, but just fills in as a number 10.
Well, what's
that sort
this,
of level.
Well, that's nicely led on to this Fujimoto, or this Portuguese lad.
Right, yeah.
Is he a 10 or is he more, like wing, or is he an out-and-out striker or what? I haven't really looked much into him. He's in Portugal
He's
at the
a
moment,
centre
isn't he?
attacking midfielder. Played for a team called Gil Vicente. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. But it's a Portuguese top flight team. Kanye Fujimoto. He's 25 years of age. Played a lot of games for his side. He had 30 games with 5 goals and 6 assists. But yeah, is he the answer to our number 10 woes? Not entirely too sure. We seem to, from the looks of it, out of all those rumours that I've got today, you've jumped ahead with mentioning him. He was further down my list.
Sorry.
He seems to be the furthest ahead, like the closest we are to signing a player. He's the one who looks like he's about to come through the door. I've seen some clips of him. Kind of got to take those with a pinch of salt when you see highlights of players. It never, like, remember when we saw that. What was his name now? That one that we had in the Wayne Rooney season. He was a defender, and he was playing in the French division. Emmanuel, no, what was his name? Dreadlocks.
Oh, Iwu.
He looked phenomenal on the highlights, and he was just absolutely.
Yeah, but he's doing all right since he's left as well, isn't he?
Oh, there you go. Maybe it was just one of those.
It was
sorts
just
of
what was
things.
going on down at home at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, but point being, I
But
don't
what
know.
I wanted to just add in there
I
before I
think we
forget
can
to
do
say it.
better. Is what I'm saying.
But the one thing that I want to really add, and we talked about this earlier on in the day when we were just generally chatting, you've got to have faith in Chris Davis and Craig Gardner
Yeah.
at the moment, because
That's what I
I tell you
mentioned
what,
to you,
they
isn't
ain't
it?
gone far wrong. And look at what they've
Yeah.
done. Look at some of the players we brought in, even when we were struggling, in the
Well,
past.
when we had Smokey Iwata, no one knew who he was. And look at
We
what the
mentioned
sort of
that
player
today,
he's-
didn't
Yeah, you said it. Yeah.
Yeah, so have faith in them, and that's why I think that with them and Knighthead's back in, I think
Don't
we'll
need
pull
to
something
worry
special
that-
out the bag
yeah, it won't
idea. I
go
think
too far wrong.
we're looking Prem level players for me. I know, like there's players like, and I think you've mentioned on your like Harry Darling's been mentioned, hasn't he? Sort
Yeah.
of seen that, and Loyal Blue mentioned that again today. And a lot of this is speculation and wishful thinking on social
There's
media
been
and
quite a
whatnot.
lot of noise around Harry Darling and Blues, though. I know that he wants to leave Swansea. He's had enough of being at Swansea. 25 years old, centre back, well regarded, decent defender, top championship level player. There'll be a lot of teams in there for him. I don't know. If we get someone like Harry Darling, he could say goodbye to Ben Davis. Almost certainly. I feel like we've still got ship a few defenders off anyway.
I think the other thing we shouldn't lose sight of at the minute, and I mentioned this when we was looking at another player that's going to be on your list as well, is that the level that we've been watching our players at as well. We've been watching them in League One, and this isn't to take anything away from anybody, but we've been watching a particular player as well, and I've seen the highlights, and you have to remind yourself of what level they're playing at. You know, most of our games last year we were playing up against. We were basically playing slam, weren't we, against a brick wall? You know, and that's the level it was. And when teams actually tried to play football against us, we had come unstuck a couple of times when they sort of didn't give us that space. So I think we need to remind ourselves of that, and that's why I made that sort of thought process, or I've gone down that thought process with Kieran Dell, because did they play 100%? Have they lifted the game that much? Because most of our game is just literally passing the ball about, almost as if we're playing with them sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, we haven't really broken a sweat in way of trying to break teams down. We've just literally done that horseshoe. Championship's going to be totally different. It's going to be so much more compact but open at the same time, if you know what I mean.
We need players.
Faster paced.
We need players who can penetrate a back line.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And
You're talking about, I think you were
so we need to go
alluding
next level.
Were you talking about Poku?
Yeah, I've done some really extensive research on Poku today, actually. It was a good 4-minute video. And no,
really
I did.
good, that is,
I mean,
solid.
I've got to be honest with you. I hadn't seen much of him. I mean, I was aware of him, and a lot of people, have rated him. And he has got some. I mean, he's a left-footed player, predominantly playing on the right wing. He scored left-footed goals, right-footed goals. He can cross with both. His right-footed cross, when I was watching, isn't great. They're sort of very square balls along the floor type thing.
Well, do you want some stats? 27 appearances, scored 12 goals and 8 assists.
From the wing.
Exceptional in League One, but that's it. That's the caveat, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're talking about
This
a
is what
League
I'm on about.
One player. But then again, we know the quality that Smokey Iwata has, and all we've seen of him is in League One.
Exactly, yeah. So horses for coursing, it works both ways as well. So, But you just know, looking at Iwata, and we've based it all on one game against Newcastle. Don't forget. I mean, every player against Newcastle that day, we really raised their game and showed that we can play football against top opposition.
No, immediately got to go back on what I've said there. It's a poor example, because I'm talking about a player that's also played Champions League football, so
Yeah,
it kind
true.
of doesn't really matter, does it?
You're reading the comments in your mind already, aren't you?
Yeah, there we are. Right, moving on then. So Poku, we'll just end off there and we'll make it more definitive. What do you think if we did get a player like that? Do you think it's a yay or nay, if it was open to us? Would you have him?
Yeah, I would.
Or do you think we can get better and should be reaching higher?
I still think we can get better. I do think we can get better. I mean, people have been mentioning Nathan Redmond again. He's just no. Let's not. Let's get over the we had him before and he was a Blues lad, came through the youth system. Yeah, it's great, but let's leave that there. Let's look onwards and upwards. Otherwise, we'd have a squad full of, we'd have Bobby Hopkins down there still, wouldn't we? If it was like Paul Devlin would be coming in every day to train. Much as we love them, we've got to leave them where they are. I mean, imagine if Duke had stayed on for another 12 months to get his 10 years in. We'd love him there, but he's never going to get a game, is he?
I've got this on next. I'm grateful that I've got this on next, because it might have you contradict yourself here. But Shay Adams, you've been linked with him.
No, I think we can do better.
28 years of age, 9 goals, 3 assists in 35 in Serie A. He's already played for us. You've got to remember him. And the sort of player that he was, powerful, like a bulldozer.
He was.
And
He
quick.
wasn't he? Yes, he was.
What? So you don't think he is now in the prime of his career at 28 years old?
Don't get me wrong. My level, in my mind, and I've said this, I was on Jay's thing the other week, Boying Blue, and I said Blues are going to go on and we're going to push for promotion again next season. And in my mind, I'm thinking, we have got to, from what I'm hearing, and I'm not privy to any more information than any other Blues fan, is that Blues are going to go all out to absolutely wow us again this close season to get signings in. And in my mind, I'm thinking we're going to push on for the Premiership, and that's not players like Che Adams. No disrespect, I think he'd be good in the Championship, but I think, and if we had him, I'd totally back him, of course. But I haven't got anyone particular in mind. But I just think, yeah, we went out and signed. Everyone was going on about Stansfield, and in the back of our minds, before we signed Jay Stansfield last season, and I'm jumping about a bit here, you will agree with me that it was like, oh yeah, could you imagine? But in your mind, you're like, it's never ever going to happen, and it happened. That's the level we're at. You know, like pick a player and just like think maybe, just maybe. And I don't get me wrong, no disrespect at all to Che Adams, but I just think that we could go out and get someone absolutely prolific, and I think that's what we're at now as Blues. I might be totally just talking out the top of my hat, and I probably am, and people have pointed out to me, but why not be really ambitious again now?
I still think
We're building for the Prem. We're not
think-
building for the Championship. That
think-
was last year.
Yeah, I think
We're
you
building
certainly
for the Prem
underestimate
now.
Shea Adams. Premier
Maybe.
League experience, top player in the Championship, already proved at his level. Not doing bad in Serie A by any stretch of the imagination. My only setback with that is we shouldn't be caught with our pants down in terms of how much we'd be paying for a player like that.
I asked
That's
the
it.
question. I asked
That's
the
it.
question, right? I mean, even with the squad we've got now, I asked the question on Jay's show the other week. It was, who do you fear now in the Championship playing?
Well, anyone coming down from the Premier League.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you fear them? Do you think that we couldn't turn them over?
I wouldn't say I fear any team.
That's exactly my point. Whereas year before, you look at, I mean, even Cov coming down, I remember thinking Cov are going to turn us over, and we got a good result against them, didn't we, towards the end of the season?
Yeah.
But I tell you what, in my mind, I'm thinking we're going to get turned over because of what we had and just the misery around the club at the
Do you have
time.
any players in mind then? So if you're willing to turn away the likes of Shea Adams and you're speaking about being more ambitious, who? Who then?
I've totally closed my mind off to it. There isn't anyone I could pick. But I tell you what, when
You know the idea of what it is in your head and you're sticking with it.
Yeah,
That's what it is. You know you've got ambition and
it's like, and we've already mentioned him, Tomoki Iwata.
yeah.
Had no idea who the guy was. Of course, I knew who he was at Chelsea, and I'd seen snippets of at Celtic, sorry, and I'd seen the snippets of him, and knew he was a great player. But there is going to be someone out there again that takes us up to that next level, and I think Blues, with the level up they're at now, could entice some of these players down, and I think it's probably happening now.
Okay.
I mean,
Interesting.
your granddad, my dad, mentioned something the other day, and I think we've mentioned it before. You will see smoke screens being put up. Poku could be a smoke screen. Che Adams could be a smoke screen. Yeah, like while people are thinking, oh yeah, we're going after him, and it creates that bit of interest. Something's going on over here while that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
And well,
Yeah.
that was almost like the Jay Stansfield thing, wasn't it, with Iwata? Because do you remember the days? And I know I've said this before. When for a few seasons, Blues were like reported with, going in for players, and the Baggies kept signing them. That happened about 2 or 3 times for Blues.
Yeah.
We were heavily like sort of influenced and chatting to these players, and they ended up down at West Brom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you gone? At least we know who it is. But yeah, so I think we could just do better than what we've been associated with. I'd be
Okay.
bitterly disappointed if we go out and get someone like Dean Peer in again, wouldn't we? Do you remember him?
No. Ollie Burke 2.0. Should we do that again?
No.
Come on, should we just give him another chance?
Do you know one thing I will say is that anyone with half a left or right foot, Chris Davis will get them playing well anyway. And
Good point.
That's something that I think we need
Yeah.
to. And yeah, I'm going to sort of call myself a hypocrite now. And yeah, imagine if Che Adams was down there and the sort of football we're playing, and maybe, but I just still think we can do better.
Don't think we'll be going too far wrong if we got a player like him there.
Great. Thinking about Chris Davis coaching him now, that makes me feel a bit better about having him down there.
Absolutely.
Change like the weather.
Well, another one that we have been linked with a few times, various articles, various posts on social media. Of course, take it all with a grain of salt. The 21-year-old winger plays for West Brom. Tom Fellows.
Is he one that's been released? Or is he just... They've released quite a few, haven't they?
No.
The bag is.
Yeah, he's a huge player for West Brom. Gained 14 assists last season, more than any other player in the second tier. He's a Birmingham City fan, it's always a plus. Winger is a position we are crying out for. Think it'll be an unlikely transfer, but it could happen. With Wagner behind us, anything is possible.
That's what we've been saying, isn't it? And that's why we've just got that bit more faith and belief in
I know,
what's going
yeah,
on.
it's more of an exciting time for us.
I've never had it with Blues.
Usually
apart
it's
from when I
like-
was a kid.
Usually it is like, oh, I really hope that X, Y, or Z don't leave us for another
Z.
club.
It's Z.
Or, we'll probably be thinking something like, oh, Smokey Waters probably going to leave. Oh, we're going to lose Paik. Like at the end of last season, we were thinking it, weren't we? Oh, Paik's going to go. Oh,
But that
we're not
happens
gonna
every
get...
season with Blues. It's
Yeah.
like who we're going to keep hold of.
Yeah.
Keeping hold of exactly who we want now.
Who we're gonna be
We
the
have
feeder
that
club for.
retained list, and it's like we're keeping those players. They're not going anywhere. Whereas usually it's like, oh, he's lost so and so.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, that could happen with some of these loanees, but if we want them, I think we'll sign them. Like
So-
Ben Davies for me, I think if money's an issue, I think
Well, let's
it won't be an issue. I don't think it will.
Let's go into Tom Fellows a little bit more then with that stat that I've just said. He's got more assists than anyone else in the Championship last season, which is just a wonderful stat in of itself. It's a position that we really need to look into, and we're certainly going to be recruiting for. Seems like a no-brainer. If we can, why not?
Well, I'll tell you what it does, because we have got some decent midfield players and wingers. I mean, you look at, if Wright comes back, he was looking good before he got injured. We've got Keshi.
I don't think he's 14
Looks amazing.
assists in a season in the Championship good, though, are they?
No, I know, but it's that competition for places, isn't it? It's just having players like him to bring up the rest of your squad, like having those sorts of players.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to look at. It's people that can bring your existing players on as well. Look at some of the kids that have been like involved with Walsall and that. Chang, what's his name? The other one that was at Walsall as well.
George Hall.
George Hall. We've got Ramel Donovan coming back that Brentford think highly of.
No, I think he's got an attitude problem from
Do you
what I've heard.
reckon?
Heard it a few times now, Romel Donovan. Take that with a pinch of salt as well. You can look into it yourselves.
Where'd you get that from?
Various places. Many.
I think that's one thing that Davis sort of weans out quite
Yeah.
quickly. That's what happened when he first came in, that is, isn't it? I think he got shot
Wind
of
of
the
it.
players that could be a bit like that,
Yeah.
including Bakuna, wasn't it? Because Bakuna's got a bit of a mouth on
Bakuna
him,
definitely
apparently.
didn't want to play there. But yeah, I'd certainly have a player like Tom Fellows at the club, 100%, 21 years old, got so much ahead of him and already performing at the level that he's performing at. Let's see what happens though. The last one that I've got on here, you might have some more rumours yourself that you might want to talk about, like your silly Gabriel Jesus one from Arsenal.
I just saw it on Facebook, and it just makes you think, doesn't it?
Also linked with Maradona somehow.
Where'd you dig that one up from?
It's good that. I think it was cremated. Mark Travers, 26-year-old goalkeeper. Now I saw an article on this and I just thought that was really funny. And it was like Stoke Live or something like that. And the article title was, "Keeper too expensive for Stoke or Middlesbrough could join Birmingham City." I think it really riled up some of the Middlesbrough fans. From what I could tell.
I heard the lads
They were
talking
like,
about
"Oh,
that as well.
Birmingham City out the League One team."
I love that though, isn't it about time we got back in that position again, really?
Yeah, been so long. So long. And no one cared when things were going bad for us. This has been, like, we're a broken record now. This has been said so many times, but it's true. No one really cares when you're down and out. It's when you're coming back up that people are like, oh, starting making a fuss of us. But anyway, highly rated with Middlesbrough. Talking about Travers here. Highly rated with the Middlesbrough fans, Stoke fans, and Bournemouth, which is the team he played for whilst he was in the Prem. So he's got Premier League experience. Now,
That's exactly the sort of player that we'll be going for, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd be so hasty to think about replacing Allsop But in Bailey Peacock Farrell, there needs to be a replacement there. There needs to be some competition for the goalkeeping position. Because I think, unfortunately, Bailey Peacock Farrell's way out of it.
It needs to be someone special to come in for Allsop next season. Honestly, I still think he's undervalued.
Yeah.
I really honestly think he's undervalued. I mean, nothing phases that guy. If you watch him, I mean, I've looked.
His composure is ridiculous. Yeah.
Nothing phases him. He's an absolute blue nose. And his stats from last year, he was top keeper, wasn't he, in the championship?
Yeah, Hull City.
At the team, that did okay actually. And having him at the back, and just that bit of uniformity going forward as well. But to have that bit of competition for him, and if you are going to rotate between cup games and league games, and with the amount of games that's going to be played again, someone like what's his name from Bournemouth, that was with Bournemouth, that keeper,
Mark Travers, that I've just been mentioning.
That's the best sort of competition you can get, because it will just take him up that next level again. But I mentioned this before. I felt sorry for Peacock Farrell. I did, because he's
got the quality.
He's a good pedigree of keeper.
100%.
And do you know what? If it turned out that we still had him next year and we had to give him a chance, and suddenly he plays his socks off, then that's football for you, isn't it?
Yeah, you never know. Things can
just
switch
don't
on a
know,
dime.
do
You just don't know how things are going to change. I hope it gets better for him, Peacock Farrell. Because he speaks really well as well. You spoke to him at the Player Awards. Lovely chap.
Nice kid,
Yeah, really nice bloke. But that's all I've got, Dad, for you. Did you have any other rumours that you wanted to speak about?
No, it was just the silly ones, really. Like you mentioned, Jesus, or I saw that, I read that, and I was like, oh my God. But we are going to be linked because of the money with everything that moves on. You know, and you're going to be having like agents even starting off rumours for lighting up fireworks, see where this can go.
Well, it seems next year, you were speaking about money and stuff and the transfers, and I immediately thought of Wrexham. It seems like we're going to have a playful, a nice rivalry now with Wrexham that's been formed. Did you see that video with the Classic Football Shirts company with Tom Wagner?
No.
Have you not seen it?
I haven't seen that.
Right, let me just show you this real quick. It's quite funny. So basically, just to preface it, you remember when they came down, Wrexham came to the Blues and we beat them 3-1?
Yes.
But leading up to the game, Tom Brady was doing an interview with Rob McElhenney on the pitch.
Yes.
And gave him a signed shirt.
Oh, I saw that, yes.
And he was like, what am I supposed to do with this? And it was this whole funny thing, like they was having a back and forth over it. And recently, Rob McElhenney was in this Classic Football Shirts shop, who I think they've got a partnership with. I think Wrexham must have some sort of partnership with them. I'm not entirely too sure. And he took this signed McElhenney Birmingham City shirt that Wagner Brady gave him. I was like, I'm not going to do anything with it, just sell it. And he actually put it on there. And no one brought it, fortunately. But then Tom Wagner made a video of him going into the shop and, and buying the shirt back. So let me just try and find it for you. Oh, here it is. Look.
Oh, I've got to see that.
Great kit, but not the one I'm looking for.
I just love this man.
He's just great, isn't he?
There it is. He's actually selling it.
What am I supposed to do with that?
How much for this one?
Let's make a deal.
Oh, you got to put the link up for this.
Here I am again in another place co-owned by Rob McElhenney, just like when I was at the pub next to the race course, spending money for the benefit of his fans. Not only will I buy back Tom's gift to Rob, but I'd love for the money from this check to go to the Wrexham AFC Foundation, who share in the mission to improve the lives of people, especially young people, through sport.
Deal.
It's the least I could do after Rob didn't appreciate this incredible gift from Tom. Shame on you, Rob. Shame.
It's funny, isn't it?
That is spot on, isn't it?
I might just put that in the corner, actually. It's only a social media post.
Yeah.
I'll take the risk, see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking now that hopefully there's some sort of small, playful rivalry with Wrexham.
What are the champ? Well, owner of a club does
Brilliant.
this.
It's absolutely.
Let's face it,
excellent,
if an
isn't it?
owner's involved, if you know about an owner and they're in the media and they're in your face, as fans, it's usually a bad thing, isn't it? Mostly, unless they've just won the FA Cup, like Crystal Palace's chairman the other day, and that was nice to see, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But every time I see Tom Wagner, I just want to kiss the bloke. Yeah, do you know what I mean? He's just amazing for Blues, isn't he? What he is doing and everyone around him. I know. I'll say it again. Said it before. I'm speechless with how much they've done for Blues.
Yeah.
Just got so much belief, and this is why I've got belief about what we're going to do next season.
It is wild. We could have had steady owners, semi-decent owners, and this still would have been a shock. But the fact that we had owners that were literally putting us through the floor, nearly burying us, and then we've turned it around and had someone like Tom Wagner come in.
It's just amazing, isn't
Count
it?
your blessings.
Can't believe I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, funny, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
I think it's brilliant.
You've got to watch that. I mean, put it up in the corner and put the link up. And
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys will probably have seen it now. But that's it. That's all I've got for you.
That'll do us for now. If we hear any more, we'll get back on.
Yeah, definitely. We have missed this. It is good to be back. Let us know what you think of the new layout, even though it's barely changed at all. It's a little bit of something, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're going to try and keep it interesting. I know it's been a couple of weeks. We've had a little bit of a break ourselves, but if there's anything in particular you want us to do, just drop it in the comments. Try and keep going as much as we can without making it boring. And you'll see me on some of the other things, and Ben will jump on with Jay and that a couple of times as well in the future.
Sorry, it's just getting really boring.
Yeah, everyone's spot be signed off now. All right, catch you later. Keep right on, guys.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.